What's up, dudes and dudettes? Welcome to Everybody Podcasts, and this is a segment we like to call Everybody's TUF, where we take a look at The Ultimate Fighter, UFC's take on a reality TV show. I'm Chad, joined as always with Cody.
What up?
We're doing a rewatch. We're going back. We're doing season 1. We're looking at episode 5 today. Hope you've all been following along here. This episode, a lot happened in this episode. A lot going on in this one.
Yeah, especially for one that didn't have a fight or a challenge or anything.
Yeah, so we got everybody starting to get really irritated with each other inside the house at this point.
Yeah, I wrote down it only took 3 weeks for everybody to hate each other.
Yeah, 3 weeks and everybody's at each other's throats for little things and, you know, everybody's just mad. Well, they got a surprise from Dana White himself.
Yeah.
Take him out on the town.
Get them all drunk.
Yeah, get them all drunk and out of the house. Sounds like a great idea, right?
Yeah.
Well, turns out that wasn't a great idea.
Yeah, at one point Dana says, I think I wrote it down. He says, apparently not. He's like, I hope these guys don't get too drunk. And the first thing I thought was, Liebman's been getting too drunk since he fucking got in the house.
Yeah, dude.
Like, since day one, he's been getting too drunk.
Yep. So, surprisingly, I think Diego Sanchez got the drunkest out of all of them.
Yeah, and he was the one who said at the beginning that he wasn't going to drink.
Yeah, and I found it absolutely hilarious when they were carrying Diego to the house and
he was in the bed like fighting against them, like, I want to go.
Yeah, yeah, dude. And I didn't think Diego was going to be that kind of guy, but he was. And let's see, what else did we get? The biggest part of it all, fucking Bobby, what the
Southworth.
Bobby Southworth. And Chris Liebman kind of got into it a little bit.
Yeah, Bobby called Chris a fatherless bastard.
A fatherless bastard. And you know what? That totally set Chris Liebman off.
Way more than I thought it would.
Yeah, right?
You know, like,
right?
I mean, I guess it's really personal and everything, but it's still like he took that way harder than I ever would have thought that he would, you know?
When I first seen that, my whole thing was, well, this guy fucking dishes it out too.
Yeah, he talks a bunch of shit.
Yeah, he should be able to take something thrown back at him. I know, like, Chris Liebman never really did, like, personal stuff, insults like that, did he?
He kind of just talked about how he could fucking beat up anybody in the house all the time.
Yeah.
And just he kind of wanted people to get into fights with him. Like, he was almost like he was trying to pick a fight with everybody in the house.
Yeah.
You know?
And we already knew Josh Koscheck. We already knew that Chris Liebman wants to fucking fight Koscheck.
Yeah.
Well, after Bobby Southworth called Chris Liebman a fatherless bastard, we got everybody kind of went to bed. Chris Liebman was like, I'm going to sleep outside.
Try and stay away from everybody.
Yeah, he wanted to stay away from everybody so he could cool down. Well, he's sleeping. Everybody in the house is sleeping. And then we get Bobby Southworth and Josh Koscheck. They're going to fuck with Chris Liebman. Of course.
Yeah.
Couple hours go by. It's 3:30 in the morning.
Was it that late? I didn't even see the time.
Yep. Bobby Southworth and Josh Koscheck went and got the hose. And they said they meant to spray around Chris Liebman's sleeping bag.
A lie.
Yeah.
That is like a blatant lie. Like, you see the video and it's obvious they're just spraying it.
Yeah,
they're just spraying it with the hose.
They literally just held the hose and they fucking sprayed the shit out of his sleeping bag. Obviously, Chris Liebman gets the fuck up, and he's fucking mad, dude.
Yeah, which is expected. It's what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, they were trying to piss him off. Like, there's no way around it. They were trying to make him angry. They knew that he was really fucking wasted and already incredibly emotional.
Yeah,
and they were just trying to piss him off.
Yeah, he was already irritated, and he was ticking time bomb, and they fucking got him. Chris Liebman got up, walks to the house, fucking punches the window, breaks open the door, fucking breaks open the door to fucking Forrest Griffin's room, asking where Koscheck is or
of
whatever.
all people.
Yeah.
Like the nicest guy in the house.
Yeah, and all Griffin's doing is like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And Chris Lieben, obviously, he wants to fucking fight Southworth. Southworth's got a goddamn smile on his face the whole fucking time, laughing at him. If I was Chris Lieben, obviously he did, but he kept getting more and more pissed off because fucking Southworth thinks it's goddamn funny, dude.
Yeah.
And it's not fucking funny.
I mean, it all seemed like they were just trying to get Chris kicked out of the house, right? Like it seemed like all they really wanted was for him to get so angry that they kick him out of the house, you know?
Yep.
Like they just didn't want him there anymore, and they just wanted him. They knew that they could get him angry enough that he would start fucking shit up and possibly fight one of them.
Yep. And Chris Lieben cut his fucking hand on some glass, and he ended up going to the hospital and whatnot, and then
took his whole knuckle off.
Yeah, dude.
Took his whole knuckle off.
Fucking gross.
You see, Chuck Liddell saw it, and he just goes, "Shit, I'd fight with that."
Yeah, dude. Fucking Chuck Liddell. Leave it to him. But all the guys were discussing in the house when Lieben was at the hospital, like, oh, I wonder if there's going to be a meeting in the morning, and, like, is there going to be a punishment? Like, what's going to happen? Well,
most of them seem to assume that Lieben would just be gone. Get kicked out.
Yeah.
You know?
Or Koscheck and Southworth would get booted. They didn't know what was going to happen because, I mean, you can look at it from all perspectives. Like, Chris Lieben dishes it out, so he should be able to take it. Southworth and Koscheck should have just been adults about it and maybe not sprayed him with the hose after they already had an altercation with him.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it's obvious they were just obviously trying to piss him off. You know, like it wasn't sure Lieben should be mature enough to like not react that way, but it doesn't discount the immaturity that Southworth and Koscheck were showing by doing that, you know? Like, it's not... You don't poke a bear. You know a bear's going to bite you if you poke it. You don't go and poke it and then act like it's the bear's fault, you know?
Yeah. You fucking retards. But, and then, so we got the coaches and Dana White brought in... One at a time, they brought in Chris Lieben and who was with him? Mike?
Nate Quarry.
Nate Quarry.
Which I found some interesting stuff out about him today.
Oh, yeah? Please share.
Well, for one, they used him as a design for some of the zombies in Left 4 Dead 2.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's dope as fuck.
Yeah. And I also found out that he was a excommunicated Jehovah's Witness. He was raised a Jehovah's Witness.
And he went door to door with...
I guess. Yeah. And like I was reading that he apparently... My video stopped. He apparently was kicked out of the Jehovah's Witnesses. And he went on Leah Remini, who does the Scientology show on, I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And they did an episode on Jehovah's Witnesses, and they brought him on to talk about how he was raised to believe, like his entire life, that like Armageddon was coming, and like how they just like terrified him for his entire fucking life and shit.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
Fuck all that fucking shit.
But anyway, go on.
But anyways, they brought him in one by one, so Chris Lieben could tell his side of the story. And then Southworth and Koscheck could tell their side of the story. Well, I had the feeling that Southworth and Koscheck were going to try to maybe throw some little white lies in there to try to maybe save their asses. But they didn't really lie. They basically told everything that happened. Chris Lieben, he didn't lie either. He told everything that happened. And
yeah, but both of them on both sides... They didn't lie, but they definitely made themselves look like the victims rather than the instigators.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. And
well, actually, I should say it seemed like Lieben and Quarry, they were trying to take their own share of the blame, whereas Koscheck and Southworth were trying to push as much of the blame onto Lieben as possible. You know,
Yeah.
I would say that they didn't lie, but it did seem like they were really trying to make it seem like they weren't as much the aggressors as they actually were.
Yeah. And after they gave their stories, Dana White and the coaches were trying to figure out a punishment. They even got a hold of, was it the commission?
No, it was Lorenzo Fertitta. He used to be the owner. There were two Fertitta brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember the name of the other one, but they were friends with Dana White when the UFC was still like in the younger days, and Dana White convinced them. They owned like casinos, like their parents owned casinos. They inherited millions of dollars, and Dana White convinced them to buy the UFC and make him the president. And they so at the time that this was being filmed, they were the owners of the UFC. So they had Lorenzo come in and to discuss what they should do about it.
Wow, Dana White's a smart guy. Here, buy this company and make me president. Give me this money.
And then the fucking Fertitta sold it for like $1 billion to WME.
Yeah.
You know, like he did nothing but make them billionaires. He turned the Fertittas from millionaires into billionaires, and he probably turned himself into somebody who made like $20,000-$30,000 a year into a fucking millionaire, you know?
Yeah, right. Yep. But anyways, they took away alcohol. They took alcohol out of the house, and they decided to have Koscheck and Lieben fight.
Which is what both of them wanted anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
It is exactly what both of them wanted from the beginning anyway, so.
I was thinking about the whole, like, isn't UFC kind of against, like, having people fight when they have, like, that certain animosity towards each other? Like, you know how...
I think more so now than back then. Yeah,
like
I think back then they would have went for it a little bit more.
My example being Leon Edwards and Masvidal.
Right.
Like, they didn't want them to fight right after...
Yeah, they don't want to set the precedent like that. If you get into a brawl with somebody backstage, that will get you the fight that you want, you know? Because then if they did that, then they would have guys picking fights backstage all the time, and it doesn't look good on the sport as a whole to just have guys getting in bare-knuckle brawls backstage during interviews and shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the time, I mean, this was 16 years ago, and it's a reality TV show. It's not, you know, they're not backstage after an event, you know? Like, they were trying to do what elevated them to a higher, to more popularity, you know? And I think that was the thing, especially for a reality TV show, that made sense to make those two guys fight after them having their issues in the house, you know?
I want Lieben to win, man. I want him to get his revenge.
Koscheck just seems like such a douche, doesn't he?
He does, dude. Every time he opens his mouth or anytime the camera goes on him, I'm just like, douche.
Yeah, douchebag.
You look like a douchebag.
I mean, he's an excellent fighter. He's one of the best to ever do it, but he just seems like such a douche.
Yeah, and like...
Speaking of douche, did you see that Dana White had fucking spinners on his SUV?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not notice.
I
did notice that shit, actually.
I saw that, and I was like, oh, that's such an early 2000s thing to have.
Totally recalling that shit in my mind right now. Yeah, dude. That's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, I would definitely root for Lieben. I already know what happens, but I would definitely root for Lieben in that fight. Because fuck Josh Koscheck.
Yeah, whenever something bad happens to somebody, and I know that other person was a fucking dick, you did it in a dickish way, I always want that other person to get revenge.
Right.
So I want Chris Lieben to get this revenge. I hope he either chokes him the fuck out or knocks him the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see fucking happen.
that's Lieben's style to knock a motherfucker out.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's been trying to get that fight for a while now, at least a couple of weeks. You know, he's been trying to get Koscheck to fight him.
And they didn't fight that first time because it was Diego and the other guy, and now it's time. Now it's fucking time.
Yeah. They're like, fuck the team challenges. These guys are fighting now.
Yeah. So we're gonna get fucking Chris Lieben and Josh Koscheck. Fuck yeah.
Also, in this episode, Nate Quarry got hurt.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that too. Totally forgot about it.
Yeah, he got hurt, and he hurt his ankle. They don't know if it's broken yet or not. Well, they know it's not broken, but they don't know what kind of condition it's actually in yet. So they just gave him some painkillers, and he's still in the house. They haven't made him leave because of the injury yet.
Yeah, that's good.
And yeah, it was interesting because he told Alex Schonover, like, I have no animosity towards you for what happened. It happens because they were having 6 guys in the ring at once sparring. Yeah, which seems crazy.
I was gonna say that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that just seems crazy.
Especially
if
you're gonna have guys taking each other down. You're bound to run into each other.
Yeah, and the thing is, he says that to Alex Schonover, but it wasn't Alex's fault.
Yeah, it was Couture's fault.
Yeah, Randy Couture did that. Like, Randy Couture straight up tackled Alex Schonover into Nate Quarry.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know, man. You got 6 guys in the fucking ring sparring. That's just so crazy to me.
What do you think was going to happen? Do you think they planned that?
I don't know. Like, were they like so strapped for time in the gym that they had to all be sparring at the same time? They couldn't take fucking turns,
or they had to all be in the same shot on camera. So they put all 6 of them.
Yeah, I didn't consider it. Maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe the fucking camera guys were like, well, why don't you guys all just spar at the same fucking place so we could just get you in one shot?
Isn't like a fighter supposed to be aware of his surroundings too? So like, if there's 6 guys in one octagon, should you think about taking him down and where you're gonna end up before you actually do it?
Yeah, it seems like if you've got all of that. Like, you got all those guys in one ring, you should be, like, no takedowns maybe. Because, you know, a takedown half of the time goes from one side of the ring all the way to the fucking other side of the ring.
Yeah,
you're covering a lot of fucking space when you're going for a takedown.
Yeah, because guys always want to put their back on the cage. So when you try to scoop them, they're hopping on that one foot all the way back to the cage. Or, I mean, if they get a double leg, can't really do that. But still, at a double leg, you have to fucking drill right in, dude.
And it sucks because Quarry's like, he seems to be like the most disciplined of all the guys in the house.
Yeah, he really does.
You know, he seems like the guy that you would want. He's the one that I would want to win.
He seems like the most. He seems like the responsible one too.
Yeah, and the one that helps keep them all together.
Yep.
You know, he's trying to, like, he's the one who was calming Lieben down. He was the one who was right there with Lieben when he was going through his shit, you know. I know that they knew each other before getting into the house, but
yeah, that's the kind of guy I like, man. Somebody who's gonna. I mean, I guess you gotta be somewhat immature to be fun, maybe. But I think there's a time and place for immaturity, and then there's a time and place for being responsible. And I think that Nate guy, I think he's got it pretty good. Yeah. I've never seen him be immature.
He's definitely got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah. He's definitely the responsible adult. He's the daddy.
I think he moved on to having a pretty decent career in the UFC. I know he lost. He had a bad knockout against Rich Franklin.
Yeah. I
think he might have had another bad knockout against Anderson Silva, but he also had some pretty good. He had some pretty good fights. He did decently well. I think he only ended with 16 fights in his career altogether, but I don't think he was. He's somebody. I think he's suing Zuffa right now.
Really?
Yeah. There's a bunch of ex-UFC fighters that are suing Zuffa over some kind of discrepancy in pay or something like that.
I feel like I probably know what you're talking about because I just watched a YouTube video talking about fighters who have sued the UFC.
Yeah, it's really it's an ongoing case, so I don't think the people involved are allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
But there's some people that get a little bit of information. What's his name? Luke Thomas. I think he gets some information here and there every once in a while that he puts out because he's just a journalist and think he just does the research and talks to the right people. But yeah, it's something that's really kept under the rug, and they don't like to talk about a lot because I don't think it makes the UFC look good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but I don't know a lot of the details. It's hard to find a lot of details about it, but there's quite a few fighters that are involved. I think it might have something to do with them trying to get the I think they call it the Ali Act enacted on MMA.
So what exactly is that?
I don't know a lot about it. I've heard Luke Thomas talk about it. Like, I would say if you're interested in learning about that, check out Luke Thomas. He's an excellent journalist, and he knows more about it than I can just sit here and fake my way through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know it's named after Muhammad Ali, obviously, and it has to do with boxing, and I believe it's why boxers handle their own contracts now instead of having to go through a corporation like the UFC.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know a lot of the details about it.
So this whole fighter pay thing, it's got me confused a little bit because like we got fighters who say they don't get paid enough, but yet they don't want to work for any other organization besides the UFC. Like there has been fighters who could go to Bellator or ONE or just anywhere, but they choose to re-sign with the UFC. But then they turn around and they bitch about fighter pay.
I mean, some of them have gone to Bellator. That's why Bader went to Bellator. He outright said it was because they offered him more money.
Yeah.
And who was the other? Corey Anderson, I think, said the same thing. He left his contract with the UFC because Bellator offered him more money.
Yeah. Actually, Corey Anderson, he actually he posted on Twitter saying, because this was like back when Jake Paul first started like talking shit about Dana White and Dana paying his fighters and stuff.
Right.
So it was quite a few months ago. Corey Anderson actually posted a tweet saying, I've made more money here in a year than I ever did in my whole UFC career. And then he like ... UFC fighters, think about what you're doing.
Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of them want to be the best, and like, especially in the eyes of the public, the UFC just is the best. You know, like nobody looks at the guys in Bellator. I mean, some people do. Like some of the hardcore fans will look at some of the guys in Bellator and consider them to be up there. But if you ask like a casual fan anything about like a Bellator guy, they're not gonna know, and they're gonna be like, well, they're not in the UFC, so they're not as good as the guys in the UFC.
Yeah,
you know, it'd be like asking somebody who's a casual fan of football what they think of guys that are in arena football. They'd be like, well, obviously they're not as good as the guys in the NFL, even though there probably are some arena football players that are as good as some of the fucking guys in the NFL.
Yeah,
it's just that's just how it works, you know. And that's the thing with boxing, that's not really the case. There's not an organization that you're like, the best guys go to this organization. You just know the best boxers in the world. You just know the Manny Pacquiaos and the fucking Tyson Furies and Anthony Joshuas. You just know them by name. You don't know, like nobody knows the fucking organizations that they're fighting for.
Yeah, I don't know any organizations that they fight for.
Like a WBO, I think, is one. And then there's like Showtime Boxing.
Yeah. Yep.
But like they handle their own contracts in boxing, you know? They do their own, like they don't have to sign a contract with a company that basically owns them. They have their own freedom, you know?
Yeah. And Bellator's got they'll do one fight deal contracts.
Right.
So like these fighters don't even have to sign multi-fight contracts. They can just go in there and be like, "Hey, I'm a big name. Give me one of your best guys."
Right.
I want one fight with one of your best guys. And that's what I thought we were going to see with Fedor Emelianenko coming back, because he's going to fight in Bellator against another veteran guy. Tim.
I know. Not Tim Sylvia, is it?
No.
I remember reading about this. I can't remember who the other fighter was though.
Jim, maybe? Jim something.
Yeah, I couldn't. I can't even.
But they're going to
begin to tell you.
They're going to be fighting in Moscow. Now, I don't know if it was a one-fight deal or not, but because all it said was Emelianenko's return to MMA.
Jake Hagar was trying to fight him in Moscow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and did you see? I don't know if it was Emelianenko or like maybe one of his training partners or coach or something, but Jake Hager was talking about fighting Emelianenko, that he's the best fighter or heavyweight in Bellator and blah blah blah, and then they tweeted back at him saying, "Who are you?"
Hey, you look like that Jack Swagger guy.
Yeah, and
who does fake fighting.
It's funny because when Jake Hager posted that tweet saying he wants to fight Emelianenko and stuff, he hashtagged it AEW TNT and AEW Wrestling.
Yeah, he does that with
why
everything.
Why the hell wouldn't you tag Bellator or MMA? Why are you tagging your wrestling organization?
He does that with everything, though. He puts fucking AEW Dynamite, I think is what he puts. Hashtag AEW Dynamite and everything. And hashtag AEW TNT. That's just a promotional thing. He probably like AEW probably tells him he has to do that.
Yeah,
they probably tell him like every tweet or every fucking Instagram post you make, you have to do this. They tell him.
They get in AEW, their wrestlers get a lot of fucking freedom, dude. They can go to another organization and wrestle and win that belt, and they can bring that belt in AEW on like one of their shows or something.
I mean, good for them.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
how it should be.
Absolutely.
Did you see CM Punk's back in AEW now?
Yeah, dude, it was super exciting. When I woke up, I seen it, and the first thing I did was look up. I really enjoy crowd pops. So, like, when CM Punk came out, and as soon as his music hit, the crowd just fucking erupted. It was such a loud crowd, and they were in his hometown of Chicago. So it was enormous. Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of returns, Brock Lesnar returned to the WWE last night.
I saw that. He's got like a whole new look now and shit.
Yeah, dude.
He looks like he should be in AEW.
He does, dude.
Because that's like what Jake Hagar and Jericho, like they have like the all blue jeans, black shirt, fucking blonde hair with beards thing going. And like then fucking Brock Lesnar walks out looking just like he should be walking right next to him, you know?
Yeah, dude. He still looks jacked as fuck, too.
And fucking suplexed John Cena.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That was another crowd pop that was really fucking loud. And like the thing I didn't get is like everybody was like, before Brock Lesnar left the first time, everybody was hating on him because like, he's a goddamn part-timer. We don't want him as champion, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes back and everybody's like, fuck yeah, man, Brock Lesnar. But everybody hates Roman Reigns. So, of course they're going to cheer. Of course they're going to cheer for Brock Lesnar because fuck Roman Reigns.
It's funny because I saw all the clips I saw looked like Roman Reigns was just getting his ass kicked, but then he still won. I just don't get wrestling. Yeah. I just don't get wrestling.
I don't get it either. But back to MMA. So, we're going to get Chris Lieben and Josh Koscheck. Is it going to happen? Do you think it'll happen the next episode?
Oh, yeah, it definitely happens the next episode.
All right, cool.
Because they didn't have a fight this episode.
Nope. Fuck yeah, so we have something to look forward to. All right, this has been Everybody's Tough. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Leave us some comments in that comment section down below. I'm Chad. This is Cody. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at ChattyDub420. You find Cody on Instagram at ScruffThePothead. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.